We are officially making our way south for the season. We're planning to stop in the Dominican Republic in a town called Luperón. We are aware that the Dominican Republic is still in the hurricane belt, and we did have to switch our insurance from full coverage to liability to make this happen. Luperón is kind of an unofficial hurricane hole because it's surrounded by mountains, and a lot of sailors and cruisers end up there for hurricane season. It's also nicer for our budget when it comes to potentially hauling out and getting a few projects done on Talia before next season. We're starting out with a smaller hop from Staniel Key to Georgetown, and we'll later make a larger hop from Georgetown to Mayaguana. We are getting ready to take off for Georgetown. We're gonna hop out here and just cross along the edge of the ocean there and get to Georgetown in the morning. Like we've said before, we really like doing night hops when we can take the ocean. So we're just gonna do it. It's about 5 p.m. We're gonna get going in a few minutes. Then we should be there bright and early in the morning. It should only be like 12 hours-ish. We're super excited to get to Georgetown. That's kind of the place we're gonna wait for the right weather window to make our next bigger hop. Patrick is up front working on getting the anchor up already. Hey, love.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Is it so nice that the button works again?
It is nice.
This water's crazy. It's so blue.
It is so blue.
Look at it. It's working.
I'm gonna try to erase the mainsail.
We've started raising the mainsail more before we take off just because sometimes it gets stuck and you have to go up there. So it's easier to do when you're on anchor. But this is the main sheet, I think. I'm trying to get better at my terms. This is bouncing around because then the mainsail doesn't actually have any tension on it. It's not gonna push us forward until we want it to. And then we'll pull that down, we'll give it some tension when we're ready to use it. And then we'll get our head sail out once we're getting going here. Once we're getting to the ocean, probably. Turning on a dollar coin. I think it's going pretty well, actually. Maybe not quite a dime, though.
Yeah.
Because we have the rudders and the drive leg can pivot about 30 degrees. Sometimes if you put them complete opposite directions, we can kind of just pivot where we are, even though we only have one engine. It's slow, but it does work as long as the conditions are calm enough.
I want to say like having the mainsail push us work as well.
I did feel like it was going faster than usual.
Because usually there's a lot more back and forth.
Yeah, but the mainsail helped push us over.
And a lot of space to just kind of float around, so might as well use it.
We ended up taking Lundberg Key Cut on our way out of Staniel Key. The review said it wasn't too bad, but this is the worst inlet we've ever been through, and I really do not recommend it. I wasn't able to film the worst of it because we both were a little freaked out and knew we just needed to focus up, because once we got through the inlet, we knew it would be way calmer. But it really was like getting tossed around in a washing machine.
A little rollier than maybe I would have hoped, but this is what upwind sailing looks like. But with the way that the winds come in, we're like 60 degrees off, which is like plenty fine for speed. We have like 50 knots wind going about 4.5, 5. We're actually going maybe a touch too fast, not for like reefing or safety reasons, but just because like we want to get to the inlet at daytime. The wind is supposed to kind of like taper off at the end of the sail though. So I'm gonna guess that maybe we'll make most of the ground overnight, and then it'll slow down probably like 2, 3 a.m. See, don't love that, but it's okay. The strong boat, Talia is a strong boat. Long night sailing, couldn't even really get that much sleep honestly, but at least this inlet, well, it's not even like an inlet, it's just like a very big opening. Looks way easier to deal with than the previous one we just left out of. And lucky for us, Casper left us some tracks. So we should be able to get in here and not hit anything. Although it is pretty deep and not as corally as some other parts of the Bahamas or the Exumas. And it'll be nice to get into a little bit more protection. For sure. Because of the trade winds shifting to be coming from the east, we knew it was unlikely we would get a weather window that wasn't made up of mostly easterlies. We instead decided to wait for a calmer weather window with smaller waves to make sailing upwind a little less uncomfortable.
The next morning we dropped anchor in Georgetown, which is a really big sailor hub in the Exumas. We've never been this far south, so this is our first time in Georgetown.
Deep is the water. Okay, I hit the bottom.
Well, that ended up being a bit of a rougher night than we thought it would be, but we are anchored up now and definitely gonna take some naps this morning before we get started on work for the day. But we're in Georgetown. I was just talking to Patrick about, I was like, when we were in Wrightsville Beach and it was hitting the fan and everything was going wrong, like, did you think we'd be in Georgetown this year? And he was like, no, definitely not. So I'm really proud of us for getting here, and obviously we still have about 400 miles to go before we're in Luperón, but we're making ground. We're making this happen. I'm really excited, and I can't believe we're in Georgetown right now.
Just a little bit wet of a ride, not too bad.
Yeah, just a little. We ended up having to rush into town to grab some propane because the propane truck is only there for so long. I think the truck comes once a week, but we were about to run out and we didn't know how long we'd be in town waiting for our next weather window to head south. I will say that Georgetown seems a little bit more set up for cruisers than other places we've been. Like getting the propane right off the dock, there's a gas station right off the dock, there's garbage right off the dock.
Yeah. Makes it pretty easy.
Do everything. We're gonna head over to the grocery store quick and check that out. Definitely more expensive than Marsh Harbor, but does have pretty good selection, so not bad. Look at how cute this little baby palm tree is. There's a big palm tree.
Palm tree's like me size.
It's a Patrick-sized tree. We grabbed a drink at the Chat and Chill, which is close by the big anchorages in town. Right next door is a conch salad place that the Stingrays like to hang out at. I think they feed them little bits of scraps here and there, so they're just waiting for some food. Honestly, a huge part of why we live on a sailboat is to be close to sea life. Also, we love traveling, and being able to take our home with us as we travel has been a huge life upgrade. Not to say that it doesn't come with challenges.
They are pretty sandy.
I know, they feel really gritty. They usually feel slimy.
Yeah. I like when they slide on top of each other.
He's eating my toes.
Hello, buddy.
Oh, he's eating my toes.
They just kind of like nudge you. Like,
hello.
Excuse me, I'm here.
Have you been enjoying Georgetown so far?
It's kind of cute. I mean, I think it'd be chaotic during like the busy season,
Yeah.
but when it's, you know, shoulder season, not so bad.
Now look at the water behind you.
I know, it's
And
unreal.
this is in, like in an anchorage.
Yeah, in the little lagoon.
As usual on the Cruiser's Net, I'd like to begin by calling for priority traffic. Is anyone in need of urgent assistance?
Georgetown has a cruiser net, which is one of the sailors in town doing an announcement on the radio. People will take turns doing this. They welcome newcomers, answer questions, and go over the weather and any events going on.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 8 a.m. Georgetown Cruisers Net.
We happened to pass through Georgetown at the same time as Bryony and Tony from Cut Above Sailing, who we've actually been talking to since before we even bought our boat. We only saw them briefly, but it was still super cool to get the chance to meet in person.
Got it. It's going back again.
We're getting ready to take off from Georgetown. We have a couple things that we need to do here first. We're gonna make one more trash run. And also while we're in town, we're gonna go to the grocery store and get a couple things. We already got propane, so that's taken care of. We also need to take our old dinghy engine off the side. I don't quite know where we're putting it. We're gonna secure it somewhere in the boat so that we can move our new dinghy engine up onto the side so that it's not on the davits for this longer truck. We just want to take more weight off the back and just keep it safer in general. Do we need to do anything else, love? We're doing trash, groceries, dinghy engines, clean up. The cockpit's a disaster.
I'm gonna put grease in the furler once we get a needle from Brian and Tony. We should be kind of ready to go. We have all the fuel we could possibly have. Should be plenty to get us there. So feeling good about that.
I'm so sad. There's a little dying bee on our boat. Look at him. He's all curled up. He's just twitching. I don't think he's gonna make it.
Okay, put him in the shade.
So in Georgetown, right off the dinghy dock, there is a garbage truck. Not like what you would think of a garbage truck. It's just a little truck you put garbage in. And then you pay. It's just like an honor system. You pay in the little window.
Simple as.
Another place we did eat in town was the EYC Healthy Eats Cafe, which was really good, and the prices weren't too bad as far as the Bahamas go. We just got back to the boat. We got bread, 24 eggs. The Coke that was me. A bunch of yogurt and then some fruit and vegetables. And it was $53.88.
So not that bad. Not great, but not bad.
Horrible, not great. Pretty excited to get to the Dominican Republic as far as grocery prices go. Now that we've made our last trip to town, it's time to switch around the dinghy engines.
We used our boom and a couple of triple blocks to move our old non-working dinghy off the side mount.
Okay, here we go. The engine moved successfully. This is where our Yamaha 15 lives.
Well, I tried to get rid of it, but it did not work.
We'll find a new home for it soon.
Okay, so we are going to try to put some grease back into this Pro furler with this needle. I don't know how that's gonna go. Like the furler is an oil seal, some bearings, and then an oil seal. And you can kind of see where it leaked out. Because I think the seal just kind of failed. So yeah, we're gonna see if we can kind of solve this problem just temporarily, pump more grease into it. Our rolling furler for the head sail started losing a bunch of grease all of a sudden. We think the oil seal that keeps the grease inside must have failed. At least it goes down easy because it's grease. This piece is super important because it helps us roll our head sail in and out. We don't currently have a way to fix this problem, so I've been trying to come up with some other ideas to help us get to the Dominican Republic. There we can take it apart and fully rebuild it. The bigger test is going to be like, is it actually going to come out of the needle part of it? So this little guy goes through. It's not vibing with the needle too well. The sun did not quite do it on the heating this grease up enough to get it to flow through this little needle. So we're going to try some boiling water. I don't know about this either. Unfortunately, just not sure. The littlest bit did come out, but
I just don't know if it's gonna be enough.
Unfortunately, even with heating the grease up, it was still too thick to go through the needle, so this idea didn't really pan out. I'm super thankful for Bryony for giving us the needle from their medical supplies though.
I just don't think it's gonna happen, y'all.
One of the last things we did was move our new engine up to the side where our old one used to sit. This will help take some weight off of our davits, and if anything were to happen to the dinghy or the davits, it would keep the engine safe. Is it too heavy?
So our boat now smells like a chlorine pool. An entire gallon of bleach spilled.
When you're going to the bathroom underway and it's really bouncy, you literally have to grasp the wall.
You're like bracing
like
yourself.
because otherwise you just be like shoved into it.
I put one hand on that wall and one hand on the door because otherwise that door just keeps opening.
Oh my god, it drives me crazy. It's just, this door will slam open, this one will slam open. You're like trying to go to the bathroom and you're like slamming doors shut.
She's and classless.
Don't forget to subscribe. Next time we will continue our journey south towards the Dominican Republic.